I'm going to be replacing the belts and tensioner on a 2018 DD15 Detroit engine. You got your longer skinny belt, your shorter thicker belt, and your tensioner here. So what I like to do is draw out my configuration for the belts before I take them off so I know how to put them back on. And then first thing I do is I release the tension on this one, put your 1/2" drive ratchet on there, pull it down, release it off of here. Tricky part is getting it off of this tensioner. Just turn it sideways and pull it through, and then you got to walk it around the belt. So you put one side through the belt, and now you just turn the fan on the belt until it comes back around to where you first started, and then you can just slip the belt. If it doesn't get caught, slip the belt right out. Here's your old belts off. For this style tensioner, what I had to do after I got this outer fan belt off was I loosened this bolt, 15mm, move this tensioner out of the way so that I can get my ratchet and socket onto this one, which again is a 15mm. So then you're just gonna release the tension down, pull the belt off. And when you're putting the new one on, you're gonna have to do the same thing. You're gonna have to get this tensioner out of the way in order to pull this tensioner down to put the new belt on. And it's just these three 16mm bolts holding it on to the block. 1, 2, 3. So this tensioner came with some instructions in it. Here they are, if you want to take a picture of that or whatever. There they are in different languages. So basically what I did is I loosened up that front belt tensioner just enough to get it past the pin that's in here and drop it down. I routed my belt through the fan and all around everything except for the alternator. I just kind of hooked it on that front bolt. So now I'm going to put my 15mm socket back on there, crank it down, wrap it over the alternator, and then just check and make sure it's in the right place everywhere. So I got my accessory belt on. It was actually easier for me to take it off the AC compressor, wrap it around the alternator first, and then with the tensioner pulled, manipulated around the AC compressor. Then I bolted my front one back up, aligned the little peg at the bottom so that it's facing this way. It'll fit right in, tighten it down. Foot-pounds are on that instruction sheet that I showed you. And then route your fan belt. And I'm just going to crank it down and put it up on the top ribs up there. Alright, and that fan belt is installed. Now all you got to do is just make sure you check that everything is lined up on the ribs properly. Go around and just check everything before you start up your engine. Make sure you remove your 1/2" ratchet or whatever else before you start up the engine too, or else that's a disaster.